friends, and welcome to Lesson 5, Recycle, Recycle, Recycle in Domain 11 in CKLA's Knowledge Strand, Taking Care of the Earth. So in last lesson, we learned that there were 3 ways that we could conserve our natural resources. Think in your heads, and then on the count of 3, whisper to me, what are they? 2, 3. You're right. Good thinking. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. So I'm wondering if you remember some of the natural resources that we've learned about so far. Please share your ideas. Excellent. Land, water, air, trees, and coal. Those are some excellent ideas of natural resources. So I'm curious if you could tell somebody really quickly what you can do to reduce, reuse, and recycle some of these resources. You've got your brain in gear today. When something is recycled, there is a process or a series of steps that take place to turn the used material into something new. The first step is for us to put the recyclables aside and save them in a special container instead of putting them in a trash. We've seen recycle bins at our homes and in our neighborhoods and at school. You will learn about the different steps that take place when something is recycled. Listen carefully to the read aloud to find out more about today's topic, recycling. I asked an artist to make a picture with these green recycling arrows on top of me. I hope this will help you remember that recycling is very healthy for good old Earth. Recycling is so important that I have come back to tell you even more about it, just to make sure that you understand how much good you are doing when you recycle something. The very first step in the recycling process is, instead of throwing recyclable materials away in the ordinary trash can, you must put these aside and save them in another container, like a recycling bin. Once you have saved a lot of things to be recycled, they need to be brought to a place called a recycling center. Sometimes people bring their own recyclables directly to the recycling center. In this picture, you can see a place with several large bins of different colors. People can bring all their recyclable materials here, but everything has to go in the right place. Glass goes in one bin, cans in another, paper in another, and so on. In some places, though, people do not have to go to the recycling center themselves. Instead, they can set out their recycling bins by the side of the road, just like they set out their garbage cans, and a special recycling truck comes by to empty the bins and take the recyclables to the recycling center. In some cities and towns, they even have a single stream recycling, which lets you put all of your recyclables into one container and it gets sorted out at the center, just like we have here. I don't know about you, but I think recycling is very interesting. Here's a colorful recycling picture. Can you guess what's being recycled in this picture? That's great. This is a picture of plastic bottle tops. All of these bottle tops were collected at a recycling center. Then they were taken to the plastic recycling factory where they were pressed together in a big colorful mismatch. Later, these bottle tops will be melted down into a liquid so they can be remolded and turned into something new made of plastic. Look around your house right now. Can you see anything made of plastic? I bet you can. Maybe it's even made from recycled plastic. Or maybe it's something you can recycle when you're done using it so it can be made into something else. What's in this picture? Exactly right. Here are some cans made out of metal called aluminum. Maybe you've had drinks that come in cans like these. If you throw a can away in the trash can and send it off to the landfill, it will take at least 500 years for that aluminum can to break down and decompose. But if you put the same can in the recycling bin instead, the aluminum metal can be reused and the cans don't have to be buried in the landfill. Let's take a closer look at how cans are recycled. This diagram, or drawing, shows what happens when you recycle an aluminum can. Aluminum is a natural resource that is mined and dug out of the earth. From there, it goes to the factory where the raw aluminum is made into metal cans that can be filled with things such as soda. After you buy a can of soda and drink it, you are left with an old, used can. You can throw the can in the garbage, but then it will end up in the landfill. A better, More responsible solution is to put the empty can into the recycling bin. Remember, a solution is the answer to a problem. These cans have already been sorted and cleaned at a recycling center and are now at a special recycling factory for aluminum. So plastic things go to a plastic recycling factory and aluminum cans go to an aluminum recycling factory. Workers at the recycling factory crush the cans and melt them down in a big cooker with lots of other cans. Maybe they'll make a new can, and then the cycle will begin over again. And the can gets filled with something to eat or drink. Someone uses the can, puts in the recycle bin. The can is brought to the recycling center, and finally a factory, and so on, again and again. What are these bottles made of? I'm impressed. These bottles are made of glass. If you tossed bottles like these in the trash, they would be hauled away to a landfill. Some kinds of glass take about 3,000 years to decompose. That's a long time. Luckily, many glass items can be recycled instead. Glass recycling factory, the glass is crushed into little pieces. Crushed glass is then put into a very hot furnace and melted into a super hot glowing liquid. With enough heat, glass melts just like ice melts. A little piece of glass that has been heated up so much that it is just about to melt and turn into liquid. Now imagine a big pot full of little bits of glass like this, all eventually melting together into a thick, hot, syrupy liquid. That is what you would find at a glass recycling factory. The picture shows the inside of a bottle making factory. These are freshly made bottles. They are so hot you dare not touch them. But they'll be cool and hard again soon. Recycling really isn't hard to do, but I'll admit that it does require a little bit of extra work. Taking the time to decide whether to throw something away in the garbage can or whether to put it in the recycling bin doesn't always make it to the top of the to-do list. But it really is worth the time to take care of good old Earth. Be sure to ask yourself the next time you use a bottle, a can, or anything else. Is this recyclable? Can I conserve a natural resource by making it into something useful again? That's a lot to think about. So I have a question for you. What was the main topic of today's read aloud? Excellent, recycling. Word work today is about the word solution. A better, more responsible solution is to put empty cans into a recycling bin. Solution is an answer to the problem. The opposite of solution is a problem. If I say something that sounds like a solution, say, that is a solution. If I say something that sounds like a problem, say, that is a problem. The family cat is stuck in a tall tree. Good thinking. That is a problem. A fireman comes and gets the cat down. You've got this. That is a solution. Two sisters are arguing about who gets the last cupcake. That is a problem. The sisters decide to share the cupcake. Sensational. That is the solution. Until next time.